So hi everyone, I am Angela from SF3 and it is my very big honor to kick off our festival with this amazing editing masterclass with the legends of Luma Touch, who are our major festival sponsors this year again, and they have been for many years. And Luma Touch, for anyone that doesn't know, is hands down one of the best editors on the market, and definitely the best editing app, but now available on all devices, including your computers and laptops as well. So I will let our wonderful Caroline Scott, who's going to be your facilitator today. Caroline is one of the lead teachers from Luma Touch. They do a lot of amazing classes. If you don't follow them on social, you should. I will put up all of the links for you to follow Luma Touch throughout the class. So just look out for the chat, because they have an amazing YouTube channel and education, lots of education content, which Caroline is the master of. Caroline has an amazing background. She specializes in smartphone content making, smartphone shooting and documentary making, and teaching how to edit and shoot on your smartphone. So that's perfect for us. So I'm going to hand over to Caroline, who it's 8 a.m. in London where she is. Hello to everyone all around the world where you are. So thank you for joining us. And also, just so you know, we are going to have questions, a Q&A at the end. So if you want to save your question for the end, you can. But if you have questions as Caroline goes, so you don't forget, if you pop those in the chat, I'll be moderating that. And a couple of times Caroline will stop and we can ask those questions. But there will be a Q&A at the end. So thank you, Caroline, and welcome.
Thank you so much. And hello, everybody. It's so lovely to be here. I've been looking forward to doing this session with you all because this is such an exciting time to be a creative. And I know that this festival is really going to inspire and entertain us and really kind of get our motors running to what we can create ourselves and go on to do. And as I say, get inspired from each other. So it's wonderful to be here with you all. I can't see the chat box while I'm sharing my screen. So if you do have questions and stuff, as Angela says, she's going to monitor them. And then if I don't answer anything, I will come back to them at the end. I promise. So I'm just going to share my screen now so you guys can see. Okay. Right. Well, just to give you a bit of a background on Luma Fusion and Luma Touch. As Angela said there, I'm one of the content creation specialists at Luma Touch. Our product, Luma Fusion, is a multi-track editor that you can use wherever you are. It's an on-the-go mobile editor, and as you guys are very familiar with the benefits of creating content on the go, being able to shoot anywhere, being able to edit anywhere, being able to produce your content as and when you need it. So really excited to be here with you all. Over my career, I've worked within news innovation. So essentially storytelling is at the heart of everything I do. And I've literally taught thousands of journalists and storytellers in how to shoot and edit and create content for their audiences wherever they happen to be publishing. So as I say, really excited to be here with you, and please do ask as many questions as you like. So our app that we're going to be speaking and editing with today is called Luma Fusion. I'm aware some of you have never used it before, some of you have used it, so welcome to everyone. This session is for complete beginners to Luma Fusion, and for those of you that are maybe transferring your knowledge from a desktop editing suite to mobile, or for those of you that have been using Luma Fusion a while and just want to get some extra tips and tricks, and hopefully I can show you some features that you might not have explored before. So as I just said there, we are available on iOS and Android, and also some desktop computers as well. You can see we've won quite a few awards for our editing app, and we're really proud of it because it has been built from the ground up for the mobile editor. It is completely, of course, touch sensitive. It's designed to be intuitive for everybody who uses a mobile phone, which is all of us, pinching in and out, dragging and dropping. It's very intuitive to all editors, no matter if you're transferring your skills or you're completely new to it. Our timeline, it's a magnetic timeline. You can turn this on or off depending on how you like to edit. I know some people really have to have a magnetic timeline. Some people don't like it, so you can control whatever you like. We've got 6 different layers of video and audio, so you can layer up your logos, your watermarks, your text, And we also have another 6 layers for audio. So you can essentially have 12 different tracks running at the same time with 4K plus media. As I said, it is built for touch, it's optimized for iOS and Android. And one of the best things about Luma Fusion is that it is a one-time purchase, okay? It's not subscription. There are elements within the app like Storyblocks, which is a royalty-free bank of content that is a subscription, but everything else is a one-off purchase, which is fantastic. So with Luma Fusion, thinking about shooting on the go and then being able to edit whatever we've just shot straight away. So editing interviews, news packages for faster and more efficient coverage, branding your content with your company font, colors, logos for this bespoke editing experience, collaborating with any of your colleagues, or perhaps you're doing this by yourself, but you want to share your projects, you can do so easily. And of course, you can turn your device into a full-blown editing suite. We've got a new feature called Multicam Studio, which I'm really excited to show you. So I'm going to dive into the app now and essentially just walk you through it. Because as I say, if you have downloaded the app at home, you can do this with me. And if you've already got it open, please do ask any questions and we'll go through. So 1 second, let me just open up Luma Fusion. You guys should be able to see my interface now. So you can see here, this is Luma Fusion. We have an interface split into 3 main areas. We have our project library at the top left. We've got our preview at the top right where my blue finger is, and down here on the timeline, that's where the magic's going to happen. That's where we're going to edit our projects. If I go back out to the project manager here, you can see I can edit multiple projects at one time. I can dive in and out of those projects. I probably have quite a few more than some of you guys, just because I'm working on lots of different things for Luma Touch at the same time. But you can see you can have a documentary on one track, your social media on another, perhaps you've got a project for broadcast TV, you've got a short film on another, you know, so it really is endless, the amount of projects that you can create. So we're going to walk through starting a new project and how we would actually go into edit in Luma Fusion now. And remember to ask questions as we go through, guys. I will jump out into the chat periodically just to come and see. So at the bottom left of the screen, you can see I have a plus icon. I'm going to tap on that plus icon and it's going to open up this pop-up box. From here, we can name our project. So let's name it. And we can choose the frame rate, the aspect ratio, or the color space. Now, this will depend on the media that you're working with as to how you want, for example, the frame rate to be. So let's say, for example, you're shooting in 25 frames per second. You're going to want to edit that content in 25 frames per second. That depends on where you're going to be publishing the content. So over here in the UK, we broadcast at 25 frames per second. But for example, if you're in the States, you'll be broadcasting at 30 frames per second. So you would need to know that. But if you don't really mind that and you're not worried about the technical elements of frame rate, you can base it on the first video clip you've added. So it will automatically analyze that content for you on the timeline. You can see here, we can also choose the aspect ratio. So for example, if you want a portrait video, a landscape video, whether you want it to be cinematic, you can choose from a variety of aspect ratios there. And you can also choose the color space. So that you really kind of get the options to personalize your timeline and your project to however you need when you first start. But you can always change this later. So we're going to leave this as it is at the moment, and we're going to press this plus icon at the top right of the screen. So here you can see we are in our Luma Fusion editor. This is what the interface looks like. As I said before, we have the media library at the top here. That is where I'm going to find all of my content, my videos, my photos, my music, my titles, my text, and so on. Down here on the timeline, you can see this gray horizontal track. That is our main track. So everything that we're going to edit our video from lies on that main track, and we're going to build up our layers off that. And you can see there at the bottom, we've got that green audio logo there, which is indicating to us that that track is for audio. And as I say, you can layer up to 6 audio tracks in Luma Fusion. At the top right of the screen, that's our preview, so we can see what we're working on. And you can see down here at the timeline, like with desktop editors, we have our ruler, so we can see where we're at in our project, and our playhead, so we can actually do editing frame by frame, see exactly what section of our video we're working on. So The best way to do is to learn and just do it. The best way to learn is to just do it and actually just to get stuck in. So we're going to start by bringing a clip onto the timeline. Okay, so as I say, up here in our media library, if I tap on this icon at the top left, it opens up this menu for me where I can see all of the different things I can bring into my project. Think of the media library almost like a pantry of where I can go and find things. It's like Mary Poppins bag. It's like a cupboard, right? Anything you want is going to be in that media library. So you've got photos, you've got content that you've imported. You can import content into the tool via cloud storage, so Dropbox, G Drive, for example. Anything that you can bring in from your cloud storage, you can bring it directly into the tool, which will be imported. Linked folders, you can also edit off an SSD hard drive, for example, plug it into your device, and you can access the media on there. So if you're shooting on a different camera to the editor that you are using LumaFusion on, so for example, if you've shot some footage which is on a DSLR camera, but then you want to edit on your iPad or your iPhone or your Android, you can just plug your hard drive in and it will be there. And that means that you don't have to transfer all the media to your device. It literally just means that you're saving the space and you're going to be editing that media from your hard drive. We also have Storyblocks. Storyblocks is a bank of royalty-free content that you can access. That is the subscription that I mentioned earlier. So you can pay for a monthly subscription to access royalty-free content. That could be videos, audios, sound effects, and so on. We've also got a range of different transitions that you can use. I'll tap in so to show you. So you can see these transitions can be added to the beginning or end of a clip, and we're going to add some of those today and have a go with those. We've also got titles where you can add text, shapes and graphics, and we can make our own. And Frame.io and Replay, these are collaboration tools that you can use if you're working as part of a team to essentially sub and see each other's work before you publish it or before you've actually finished exporting your project. And at the bottom there you have music. You can personalize this entire folder here, so you can choose what sources that you want to use. So you can see you've got some options there. I'm going to go into, for this example, I'm going to go into my photos. I'm going to go and find a video to pull down. So if you do have LumaFusion, feel free to go and find these and do this along with me, but no worries if you're just watching along. So here you can see I've got some videos up here in my media library. There are different ways to bring content down onto the timeline, but remember this is all about touch editing, right? So we're going to drag and drop and tap and pull things around just like we're used to using on our smartphones for every other app. Okay, so what I can do is I can tap on a video, and you can see as I tap the thumbnails, they're appearing in the preview screen. I'm going to keep tapping through them. We can see this one's a photograph, that's by this logo that's on the right hand side of it. We can see if we tap through, we've got another landscape video, and we can actually watch our content through before we put it down the timeline, or we can bring the entire thing down. So in this example, we've got this beautiful video here, which I can play. I'm just going to scrub through on the right-hand side to watch my video, see what that's all about, or I can play it. I can either bring the entire thing down by dragging and dropping, or what I can do is I can pre-trim that clip. So you see these yellow handles here. I can choose the best section of my clip to bring down, and then I can bring that clip down. And when we do bring a clip down, you see I'm tapping, holding, and I'm dragging this down to the main track here on my timeline. And you can see that yellow vertical line. I'm going to lift my finger up when my track is on that main track, and you can see now I have my first clip on the timeline. Okay, we're going to do that a few more times together. I'm going to do this in a different way now. So now I'm going to just tap and hold on a clip at the top. Let's say I know I want it. I don't need to preview it before. I'm going to tap and hold this, bring this down, look for that yellow mark, which is going to show me where this is going to go. And I let go. And now you can see my clip is on my timeline. Notice that when I'm showing you my clips on my timeline, I'm dragging the timeline with my finger here. You can see that blue mark. I'm just dragging my timeline left and right in this space above and below the clip. Now, of course, at the moment, you can see that the clip is quite a long clip, but if I pinch the timeline in like this, pinching in, just like you would do a photo and your photo's up on your camera, we can actually zoom our timeline out so we can see everything. Now that's not changing the length of the clip, that's just essentially pulling ourselves away from the timeline so we can see everything that's there. So I just want you to practice this at home. If you are with Luma Fusion now, we're going to pinch our timeline in, pinch our timeline out. You'll notice as I'm pinching the timeline in, look at that ruler at the bottom of the screen. I'm getting closer and closer to all of the individual frames of my clip. And once I'm all the way zoomed in, you'll see we have this white vertical bar. This is showing us a frame of content. So we can't zoom any further in because we're already doing frame by frame editing by this point. So you can see up here at the top, if you look in the preview as I'm moving, I can literally move frame by frame by frame by frame, enabling you to get really accurate results when you're editing, guys. Okay, now let's just zoom back out again. I'm going to show you another way to add some content to your timeline. If you go up here to the media library and you want to double tap 1, 2 on a clip, it will just jump down. Okay, there are many different ways to insert this media. The most common way we find people doing it is just dragging and dropping, or tapping, previewing it and dragging it from here. But it's completely up to you how you feel most comfortable with that. Angela, are we okay for questions, or is there anything I need to show there again?
There are no questions in the chat. Does anyone have a quick question now for Caroline before she moves on? Anything that she's mentioned? I know everyone here is at different levels of editing. Some of you have used Luma and some haven't. So honestly, there are no silly questions at all. So don't be too shy to ask, because we have Caroline here. So ask everything you want to ask right now. Oh, great. We have a question in the chat. Can you do the pre-selected crop and drag again? Says Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, so if you want to bring down a section of a clip, we're just going to tap on the clip once, Michelle. So I'm going to tap on that in the timeline, and I'm going to use these yellow handlebars on the right-hand side of the screen to crop. I say crop, it should be trim. So I'm trimming the best section of my clip. And you can see there on the right-hand side, it's going to tell me just how long that clip is. And I'm going to drag and drop. So now I've only got that individual little section. Now, Michelle, that's quite nice that you've asked that, because now we've pre-trimmed a clip and we've brought that into the timeline. We can see those arrows left and right on our clip down here. These are our trimming handles. Let's say I've brought a part of a clip down, or an entire clip, and I actually want to change its length. To change the length, I'm going to drag on these handlebars out and in. So you see everything that you bring into the timeline, guys, is not set in stone. All of the data for that individual clip will be brought down, so we can see we can make it shorter, make it longer, we can max out that clip. You can see as I take it right to the last frame, we can't actually drag that clip out anymore because there's no arrow going to the right. There's only an arrow going to the left, which is telling me, okay, Caroline, the length of this clip has been extended to the length of the clip. So you can see here, our clip here is 18 seconds and 13 frames, and we can make this smaller, and it's telling me how many frames and seconds I'm taking off and how long my entire clip is when it's played out. Okay, so that's trimming. So we know how to bring a clip down to the main track, we know how to pre-trim, and we know how to actually trim on the timeline. If you want to split a clip on the timeline, you're going to use this scissor icon down here at the bottom, and you can split the clip wherever that playhead is. It works like a guillotine through the clip. So again, move our playhead along. We're going to select the clip and tap the scissor icon. Okay, if you don't select the clip, it will cut through all of the layers that are on top of that clip, and we'll have a go with adding layers in a second. So have a go with that. I'm going to move our playhead along, tap the clip and click the scissor icon. And then of course that enables us to rearrange our clips by picking up and dragging to a new slot. Okay, and you'll notice as I'm doing this and I'm moving my clips around, all of my clips are moving out the way for one another. And that's because we're in this thing called insert mode. I mentioned at the beginning, Luma Fusion has a magnetic timeline, which enables you to edit much more quickly, enabling you to not lose content down the way. If you've got a really complex timeline, you don't want to worry that you're losing content down the top of your timeline. If you're going to trim content, you see how it all sticks together. What if you had a really long timeline, but you wanted to change the second clip, for example, and make it shorter, you would have a big black space in the middle where you've trimmed it. So magnetic time enables everything to stick together with clip linking when you put more layers on. But you can change that. If you go to the bottom left icon here, you can open up the toolbar, and this arrow to the right hand side, we can put this into insert mode where the timeline will go purple. And when the timeline's purple, it means when you pick things up, can you see nothing moves? It's not magnetic anymore, okay? So with things not being magnetic, yes, you can. Some people like to do edit in clumps, like edit at the beginning of their timeline all of their interviews, then edit down the road their B-rolls. Maybe they want to edit their voiceovers at one point and then bring it all together. You can choose to do that. I would recommend, if you're just getting started with Luma Fusion or just getting started with editing, making sure that you are in insert mode, just because it does make things easier. Now, to delete a clip, you'll see as I've moved from overwrite into insert mode, we've got this blank box now, which is just because we had that blank space, but insert mode, it doesn't allow for any black space. So now it's giving you a clip. So to delete that, you can just tap on the rubbish bin at the bottom, or you can tap, hold and flick, and you've basically just deleted your clip. Okay, so now we know how to insert the clips, we know how to trim, split and rearrange them. We're going to look at adding layers. You can see we've added all of our clips to our timeline here. We've got our layering icons at the top. Now, why would we add a layer? Well, we add a layer to our content to have multiple things happening at the same time. That could be a video that's playing on top of another video, but enabling us to hear what's going on the video underneath. That could be text, that could be watermarks, that could be subtitles. So any video where you have multiple facets on screen are called layers, okay? So we're going to bring down another layer. So let's say, for example, in this video here, let's say we want to add on top of this another video. Now, if I drag and drop another video on top, so you can see here, I'm going to drag and drop. Now I can add it to this layer, and we can see a layer is available because of that blue sign there on the left-hand side. So I'm going to drag and drop it on top of our clip. Now I've done that, I'm going to trim it to size, and you can see we have one clip on top of another. Now, in Luma Fusion, it's very similar to a lot of the other multi-track editors that you might be used to using. You're a bird, you're looking down onto the timeline. If you're a bird and you're looking down, you only see what's on top, okay? You don't see what's underneath unless you're going to change the size of this top clip, okay? Some editors, especially on mobile, you are a fish and you're looking up, but on Luma Fusion, you're looking down, okay? So the top layer is whatever you're going to see. So this clip here, you can see, I can only see what's on top. If I was to trim this clip, you can now see, I'm going to go and see that bottom clip. Yeah, everybody with me so far? So as our video is playing out, we're going to see as soon as the playhead hits the frame for the clip underneath, we're going to see that. Now, if we want to have a split screen or have two things happening at once, I'm just going to split my clip at the bottom there so we can work with these two clips here. I'm going to double tap on that top clip. You'll notice when I double tap on any clip, this opens up a series of editors. These editors are really important for your editing because the timeline is for rearranging your project, putting it all in the order that you want, but all the editors, they're there to actually do something to the clip, whether it be the frame and fit, the speed or reverse, the stability of it, the color and effects, or the audio if your clip has audio attached. So now you can see we're in the frame and fit editor. We've double tapped on that layer. Now we're in that, we can see I can pinch that top clip and now magically we can see the clip underneath. I can either do this with my fingers or I can be really specific with this and do this with the sliders on the right hand side incrementally to be really, really specific or not. Okay, so let's say, for example, we want two clips playing at the same time. You can have picture in picture, for example, either by doing that yourself, or if you wanted to, you can choose from any of the presets here. Or if you want, you can have two things playing, let's say, where they're both small. So we're now going to tap on that bottom clip and now I'm rearranging. And you can see you can really have a lot of fun with resizing however you feel fit. If you want to get really specific, you can copy and paste the properties of one clip to another using this clipboard. So you can make sure all of the clips are exactly the same x-axis, for example, or y-axis. And you can see here on the right-hand side, you have the capabilities to do all of those. You can also crop, you can also use a variety of blend modes, and so on. Now we're going to move on to the other editors. So I'm just going to go back to our big clip here, and we're going to go along the bottom. So we've seen frame and fit. We've got speed and reverse here. Make our clip faster, make our clip slower. This white line will tell you where it's safe to bring your clip slow enough so it doesn't look jolty. If you're not shot in a high frame rate, then when you slow a clip down, it will look too jolty because there's not enough frames to cover that amount of time on the timeline. Okay, so bringing the speed down, make sure you look out for that white mark. You can also reverse your content. If we go along now, we've got a stability editor. So essentially, if you've shot something handheld, you can turn the lock and load stabilization on, where we've partnered with Core Melt for this, and essentially it will track the dominant motion so you don't have quite a jittery video. And if we keep going along, we've got our color and effects editor, where you can add things like the colors. You could do color correction here at the bottom. You can get really, really specific with this in terms of using the numbers or using these calculators here on the right hand side, or you can have a bit of fun with these. You can see we've got lots of LUTs that you can play with, and you can see as I'm adding these effects, guys, can you see they're all building up on the right hand side? I'm layering these effects. Now I can change the order of these effects to give me literally, you know, an unlimited amount of different looks and feels for my content, because it's all depending on the order of which I put these on. I can mute these so I can't see them if I wanted to see what they look like underneath. And I can have a bit of fun with these as I go. So you can see the more and more effects I put on, the more I can change the orders and get different looks and feels to my content. Now, you guys might have noticed this icon down here at the bottom left of the screen. This is to turn on keyframes. If you haven't used keyframes before, keyframes is a way that we can make a change to a clip over time. So here you can see we've added all of these color and effects to this clip, but that is the color and effects we've added for the entirety of this clip. You see, it doesn't change. It looks the same throughout. But let's say, for example, let's just take these off for a second, or delete these, and we'll do a simple one. Let's go and make our clip black and white, say. So if we add the original color filter, you can see if I go down here, I've got my saturation slider. The more I add the saturation slider and pull it down to the bottom, the more the color is going to come out of my clip. If I want to make a change over time, we can add a keyframe. Let's say here at this point, I want the color to start draining. So I'm going to add a keyframe. And by this point of my video, by this exact frame, I want the color to go. So I'm going to add a keyframe there. I'm going to pull the saturation all the way down to the bottom. And now when I play my clip, you can see the saturation drops out of my clip over time. And you can add keyframes for a variety of things within Luma Fusion. If I go into the frame and fit editor, again, we can see the keyframing icon at the bottom. The keyframing icon will refresh depending on what tab you're opening, right? So at the moment, now we're going to add a keyframe for size and position. So let's say we want our clip to zoom in slowly as it plays. We want to start it where we're zoomed out, and we want to finish it when we're maybe zoomed in a bit more. So we're going to add a keyframe, and while we're on that keyframe, we're going to reposition our clip. And now you can see as I play my clip through, not only is it going to go black and white, but we've also zoomed in. You can see that zooming in here. Look at the zoom in happen. Okay, you can be a bit wilder with it if you really wanted to. So let's say, for example, here, let's delete that keyframe. Let's say we want it to start like this, and then by the middle, we want it to move into the top left corner. And by the end, we wanted it to come back to normal, which I did by tapping this icon here. you can see it's literally going to travel between the 3 stops I added. So that's what your keyframes are there for. You can see every time you open up a new tab, the keyframes will refresh. However, they will store all of the keyframes that you've set. And you can see the set keyframes have been noted here on the right-hand side by that blue mark. Okay, so keyframes are changes over time that you can do to any of the editors, to the audio, the frame and fit, stability, the colors, and the titles. Okay, so have a go with this at home if you haven't done so already. I know it's a lot to take in, but I just want to show you some really cool features, so I'm trying to move through it. So you can see here we have our layers on screen. We've got our orders of our clips. Let's say we want to add some text, for example. Remember I said to add anything like text, we're going to go up to the top here. We're going to open up that menu and we're going to go to titles. So in titles, this is where I'm going to find loads of text. Now, if you don't want to use one of these preset layouts, a lot of people like to create their own. You can just drag down, like say classic main, for example, bring that down and you can see you've got some text on screen, and text can be controlled like you can do a video or image. So we can trim it, we can split it, we can put it on layers and so on and so forth. Okay, so if we double tap, remember I said that the timeline is for the order of our content. If you double tap, you go into the editors and that's where we're going to change our content. If you double tap on a piece of text, you can see now we're in this thing called the title editor. Okay, the title editor enables you to change this text and make any differences that you want. So to do that, you're going to tap on these tabs and you can change the text. Let's say, for example, hiking in the Alps. Okay, so we've got some text on screen. Once we've done that, you can see it's changed. It's changed as it wants, but we can move this around our screen. We're still in the title editor, so let's move it down here. And we can then change the font however we fancy. You can also, by the way, in Luma Fusion, you can import your own font. So let's say you use another app like Fantasy or DaFont, for example. You literally just airdrop it directly into the tool and it will open up for you. So you can just have a bit of fun with this. So you can see you can add your own text in. And if you want to, you can make your own titles. So we call these titles because text just implies it's a piece of text. Whereas titles, you can add other elements like shapes and pictures and so on. So for example, here I might want to add like a bright red line through my maybe behind. So let's change the order of that. And you can see you can keep going with this, adding more shapes. Let's put that halfway and that looks cool. But you can see what I mean. You can build up your titles as you go. So now you can see on the timeline, that is one flat layer to save you some layers in the edit. But when you go in, you can then, you know, take the layers on or off as you see fit. Okay. What's really cool about Luma Fusion is that you can personalize the app. So let's say, for example, you were doing a YouTube series called Hiking in the Alps with Sarah Smith. Okay, so you might have your Hiking in the Alps channel, or you might have your YouTube series, and you might want this title on every single episode you do. Well, rather than coming into Luma Fusion and remaking that title every single time, what you're going to do is you're going to tap on this plus icon there inside the star. And once you're in this, you can save that as a title preset. So let's say you can put this as like hiking YouTube. Okay, let's say, for example, I'm going to tap on that plus icon, and now you can see it's in what we call my user titles. So that means even if I go onto a completely new project, I'm going to start a new one here. As you can see, I'm in a brand new timeline here. Let's go and let's go into Storyblocks. This is our royalty-free bank. There is some free material in here, but as I say, if you want to subscribe, you can to that. So let's say I'm going to search for hiking. There, okay, we've got lots of lovely content come up. So let's drag and drop oh, you have, sorry, I have to sign in for this, but you can drag and drop your content directly onto the timeline, and it will be able to just download, but you will need a Wi-Fi connection. In fact, if that's going to go round and round, let's see if I can put my, so you just sign in, ding, okay, brilliant. And yeah, so essentially, once you've signed in, you drag your content down, everything that you drag down onto the timeline from story blocks will be saved in your cached media. So you won't have to drag and drop it down every single time. Okay, if that, maybe that won't let me because, oh, here we go, wonderful. Okay, let's this is I think it's because I'm sharing my screen, but let's see if I can go into some cached media here. So let's go into my cached media. This is what I've used before. So let's say, for example, we go and find a nice video that we've got. Let's say, what have I got here? In fact, this is going to be not about hiking, but let's just pretend, for example. So we've got our video on the screen. So let's go into our titles. So in our titles here, and now we can see at the top, there is our hiking YouTube video. We're just going to drag and drop that down. And now I haven't had to make that because I've already pre-made it. So if you do something again and again and again, really think about using Luma Fusion to essentially store all of that branded content. And then you can literally just whip it up and drag and drop your content on as and when you need. Okay, so those are your editors. What I'm going to show you now is a new feature that we have in Luma Fusion. If you're an experienced editor, shooter, or you've been using Luma Fusion for a while, this, I hope, is going to excite you. If you're new to Luma Fusion, you might want to start off with using everything that I've shown you so far, but still please keep paying attention because this, I'm hoping, will blow your mind. It is an amazing tool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to use multicam. Now, multicam is the capability to sync multiple videos together. So, for example, say if you have, I think I've got this on a keynote here. Okay, so multicam, as I say, you're syncing different cameras together. So you might go out on a shoot and you're shooting with an iPhone one moment. You've got DSLR with you, you've got another camera, maybe another phone, and you've got a scene where you want to shoot it from multiple angles. I know that you guys, like me, have probably been there where you say to someone, now do that action again, I'm going to shoot you from the other side. Now do that action again, I'm going to shoot your feet, because you want to be able to make a beautiful sequence shot. With Luma Fusion, what you can do is you can set up all these multiple cameras. As I say, it doesn't matter which device you're shooting on. We accept content from a range of different cameras and file formats, that's fine. However, with Luma Fusion, you can sync them automatically together, press record on all of them, sync them together, and that means that you can easily flick between the two. This is just a really easy example here. We have two cameras. Let's say here we've got our interviewee. We've got our camera from the front, and we've got our camera from the side. You can see I'm shooting at the same time. And we also might have our audio recording. So in this example here, what we would need to do is we need to sync the camera 1 to the camera 2 and sync the audio at the same time, okay? So let's say in this example here, this is my timeline. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a multicam container there at the bottom. A multicam container will enable you to sync all these clips. So I go into my synchronizer, and don't worry, I'm going to do a live demo of this in a second, but just so you can see from this example, I'm going to bring in my first clip into those drop zones, and you'll see we have 6 drop zones there at the bottom. I drag in my first camera, I drag it in my second camera, so that clip from the side, and then I'm going to drag in the audio that I've recorded on my external audio device, and I'm going to drag that into the audio track. Now at the bottom where it says press to sync, I'm just going to tap on that, tap on automatic. You can sync via audio or time code, or you can do it manually if you really want to, but you can see it's automatically going to synchronize those clips together. And once it's done that, what we'll be able to see in a second is both of the frames from the 2 cameras in this example are completely synced, which will mean for you guys as a creator, you just have to worry about the storytelling. You're not spending hours and hours trying to sync up the media frame by frame. You see he's looking up, he's looking up. Again, we move along. You see how it doesn't matter when you click on the cameras, it doesn't have to be at the same time. So now we're in the switcher, okay? And this is how you use the switcher, by tapping on the media individually.
I think the thing that sticks out the most about multicam in LumaFusion is the automatic nature of it. I think when you have I think about it a lot like cooking. Like if you have high quality ingredients that you're working with, the dish is so much easier to make. And if you do the work to make sure that you have high quality audio synced on your footage, it's so much easier to have a timeline just create itself in Luma. And then you can almost just use the switcher in multicam to just switch between the different angles, and your editing experience is so much more fun and enjoyable just because you were willing to do the work to make sure that the footage you captured is conducive to a multicam workflow.
Okay, I'm not sure if you had the audio, but hopefully you did. He was describing multicam there, but hopefully you could see as I was tapping each of those individual thumbnails, it's just fun. You're listening to your content play out, but you're tapping on the shots that you want. And you can see as I go back to the timeline now, we can, if we wanted to, add text, add titles, add fonts, add our logos, but everything is done for us. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how we can do this in LumaFusion. You can sync up to 6 different cameras together. And as I say, you can edit off your device or your external hard drive if you have media on there as well. So this really is such a powerful tool for all content creators, much further than essentially, you know, just editing some basic clips together. This is a powerful tool you can use to really turn your device into this full-blown editing suite. So I'm going to show you how we do that together. So at the bottom of the screen here, now we're in LumaFusion, we're going to tap on this plus icon and we're going to go to multicam container. Multicam container is an additional purchase. I think it's about $20. It's a one-off purchase, and you can tap on Multicam Studio there, and you can see now we have our multicam container on the main track. So it really is a bit like an app within an app, okay? So we're going to tap now on Synchronizer. I really would advise you to watch this, guys, and not to do it with me, because it does take a little bit of time just to understand the process, and then it's very easy to do. So we have a multicam container that we want to go into. We're going to click on Synchronizer. So the first step is to synchronize all of our content together. So you're going to want to find content that has been shot at the same time, okay? So that could be a two-camera interview, that could be a scene. In this example here that I'm going to show you, I've got like a rock band that was filmed from lots of different angles. Let's see if I can actually find it now. Okay, so you can see here, guys, we did a shoot with a band, and you can see if I tap on each of these pieces of content individually, we've got a camera at the back to film all the break dancing. We've got a camera on stage, which is filmed the band. We've got one that's just on this drummer, and then it moves over to the break dancer here, and so on and so forth. So you can see what we've done is we've put up cameras all around this event that's taking place. We've also got a primary music track, because you know when musicians do music videos, they will film or record their polished video audio in the studio, and then they'll sync, you know, they'll mime to it essentially, and they'll sync it to the music. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to use that as our primary music track. So just like I did in that demo that you saw that was pre-recorded, we're going to do the same. We're going to bring in our footage into all of the individual drop zones. So camera 1, bring into Dropbox 1, camera 2 into our drop zones, camera 3, camera 4, camera 5, and camera 6, okay? If you were to try to sync these on the main LumaFusion timeline without using a multicam container, you would have to layer up 6 videos, find the start point or the clapperboard, line that up, hope it's really synced to the exact frame. So it is a bit more pernickety. Well, a lot more pernickety. It will save you a lot of time. So you've got 6 different camera angles here, and we're going to bring in our primary music track as well. Now watch when I bring in this primary music track, it's actually going to mute all the audio from these tracks. I'm going to bring that down. And now what we're going to do is we're going to tell the tool, we want you to sync all of these videos together to this primary audio track. So you can see that they're all different lengths. If I go to the end here, they're all different lengths of clip, because they all press record at different times. And we're going to press to sync. You can sync via audio, the time code or manual. If you tap on automatic, this will look for the best method for the clips that you're using. And you can see it's going to go through all of those individual clips, and it's just going to sync them by listening out for that audio in there. So just going through them bit by bit. Usually doesn't take a long time at all. It takes less time to make a cup of tea, so you can have a little walk around, but you can see here it's going pretty fast. And then once it's synced, it will say sync complete. And we can see here now, we have our clips that are all synced together. We can see that they all start at different times on the end. They all finish at different times there. But if I was to tap through my clip here, just have a look at that guitarist there at the front. We can see he's in the same position for each of our clips. So we know our clips have been synced correctly. If you try this at home and your clips don't sync correctly, let's say the audio is a bit muffled, it can't understand it can't understand your content properly, what you can do is you can tap on this icon and you can click on manual. And when you click on manual, you can drag around these clips easy. Now, I would recommend making sure your clips are synced properly, because when you go into the switcher here, now we're in the switcher, okay? Now the switcher is the fun part and will enable you to essentially move between your content however you like. So let's say we're going to start about, let's go here, because this is when the breakdancer hits. So this is a good example. So let's say, for example, we're going to do a multicam edit where we're going to switch between all of these different cameras for this band. Now, I really hope you can hear this audio at home. If not, please do just watch me tapping on the individual thumbnails. So I'm just editing by just a simple tap.
Hard in the weather, I can't take the sunshine, rainy day, storms, whatever. Dream chasing full sprint will be hard forever, but you can't bet your life savings. I will walk forever.
I'm trying.
On the let me know which frame I'm in.
It's like sometimes it hits me in waves I get. Sometimes I get, sometimes I forget. Time's flying.
Okay, so we've seen there that now we've just automatically switched between all of these different cameras, and we can keep going and going for the whole of the song. But if I click on close here, now we're back on the timeline. We can see now we have this amazing multi-track edit where we've only used up one layer of our timeline. We've synced all of those clips automatically together. And we really didn't have to do much effort there. We literally just play this clip through, and now it's going to change between the shots. Now you can then go and add on text onto this. So let's go and add some text. Let's go and add, so we choose a title. So let's say we like this one. We're going to drag this on, and now you can see it's on top of our track. So let's say here. And all I'm doing is I'm tapping on these individual bits. This is a pre-made template. And I can play around with this however I like. For example, you can see you can do it very quickly, or you can make your own. If I go back to the timeline now, let's add a transition in. So let's cross dissolve that, maybe come in, and we can, let's push it off to the side. Now when I play my content, look what's going to happen.
I can't take the sunshine, rainy day, storms, whatever. Dream chasing full sprint will be hard forever, but you can't bet your life
Okay, so
savings.
we've added then a title, we've got our text on top, we've got a multicam edit underneath. So with Luma Fusion, guys, this is not just a tool to make a quick video. Yes, you can make your lovely Instagram reels or your TikToks within this. Yes, you can, but you can also make full-blown productions in this. And you can see as I've got more and more projects, all of these you can dip in and out with them whenever you like. This is an example of, a portrait TikTok that I did. You can see as you go through, you can really kind of get quite detailed with your projects depending on how many layers that you want to go. Let's have a look at this one. You can see this one is a bit more of a layered project. Got lots of things happening at the same time. And you can see as I add more and more layers, you can see these lines that are connecting all of the different clips together. And as I say, that is to protect your content. So if you were to change any of the sizes or move anything up and down the timeline, can you see it all is connected? So to give you that freedom to move your content without worrying that you're going to ruin something further down the line. So guys, this is Luma Fusion. It's a multi-track editor, as I say. I'm showing you today on my iPad. You can use it on your mobile device. In fact, I actually learned to edit video on my smartphone. So, you know, it's an amazing tool. If you feel like your fingers are too big for the screen, the more you practice, the better and more proficient you'll get. And you'll use things like dragging in, dragging out, and some of the shortcuts on the timeline, like I haven't even shown you guys today, like splitting a clip I can do with 2 fingers either side of that line, deleting a clip, throw away, or, you know, it's very, very intuitive to how you want to use it. I can even go frame by frame if I want by swiping up here on the preview screen, as opposed to moving my timeline individually. Okay. And the one thing I haven't actually shown you at the moment is the audio editor. I've got a few more minutes. So I'm going to double tap onto a clip with audio. And you can see down here, we're in our audio editor. We've got our clip here of Max, who is part of our customer support team. And you can see that clip has audio attached. So if you double tap on a clip to open up those editors I described, you can see here on the right-hand side, we can change the audio levels for just this individual clip. We can also, if you want to get really fancy with it, start using audio ducking. Audio ducking is a fantastic tool which will automatically make the tool duck music beds under any clips that you say are primary. You can pan your clips left and right. You can use the graphic equalizer to essentially change different frequencies within your clip to remove any noises. And we also have included a new feature, which is Apple's sound isolation tool down here at the bottom. And when you add this to a clip, you can remove background noise like air conditioning units, people chattering. It's absolutely amazing. So I really will advise you guys to go and give that a try. And that's completely free within the tool as well. So when you're finished editing your project, so let's say you finish your project, you're really happy with it. The export icon is down here at the bottom right. When you tap on that, you can export your movie either directly, if you tap on movie, directly to the photos within your device. You can publish it directly to your favorite streaming platforms like YouTube and Vimeo. You can airdrop your content direct to your computer, put it in Dropbox. You can even save it directly onto your hard drive. So you, excuse me, so you don't have to have a lot of content on your tablet. So you're not using up a lot of space. You can export it elsewhere. And you can see when you do that, you're going to get loads of basic and advanced settings for your project. So the resolution that you want to export it in, of course, you've got the frame rate there, video quality. You can even change the codec. So you can export it with a transparent background or not. Let's say if you're using HEVC with transparency, you've got the file size and so on. Or you could, if you wanted to, just export the audio. So those of you that are doing podcasting, you could create a video of your podcast and then just export the audio. We've also GIF animation and so on. So really the possibilities are endless with this tool, guys. I'm just going to stop sharing so I can see you guys. But yeah, it's an exciting time to, it's an exciting time to, oh, can you guys see me? Oh, yeah, Angela, I can see now. Fantastic. Yeah, as I say, it's a really exciting time to be a creator. And what I've shown you today, I appreciate, it's a big whistle-stop tour of Luma Fusion. But just like any of the tools and any of the storytelling techniques and anything that you're going to learn for the rest of this conference, which I know you're going to leave with notepads and notepads full of things to try, you must get stuck into them and actually have a go and play around yourself. So if you would like to join any of our trainings, please do email me. It's caroline.scott@luma-touch.com. Please do email me. We can organise some training. We run a lot of in-house training for companies and individuals, one-on-one training, where I can help you specifically with your own projects. Or we also offer free training, which is like monthly sessions based on a technique. Okay, so please do get in touch with me if you need anything at all. And we have an amazing customer support team at Luma Touch where we're willing to help you with any issues you might face. So we know that you guys are creating all the time and you're on tight deadlines, and you're also, you know, wanting to learn as much as you can. So please do get in touch with us there. And just before we go, I just want to show you that we do have a very extensive YouTube page. Our YouTube page is Luma Touch. Let's see if I can share my screen again to show you. And on our Luma Touch page, this will enable, here we go. I'm not sharing, am I? So hopefully in a second, you'll be able to see Luma Touch. So this is our YouTube channel. And on our YouTube channel, guys, it's not just instructional videos on how to use the tool. We also have a range of videos from not just customers that use it, but also where we are doing our own storytelling projects and showing you what we've learned along the way, how we're integrating other apps into using Luma Fusion, technical problems. You can see I do a whole range from what we call the Luma Touch Academy, where you can see here, we do all of these videos on creating your personalized video assets, sound effects, background noise, you know, understanding color and Luma keys. There is so much to learn, so much to do, but I really recommend all of you go and check that out. But as I say, please do ping me an email or get in touch with anyone at our team, and we'll be more than willing to help you out on an individual or a group level. Angela, is there anything in the chat that I haven't seen? Oh, I see Michelle's asked about separating the, yeah, Michelle, if you want to separate the audio, you just tap 3 times on a clip and the audio will jump off.
I have a question actually that I have been wanting to ask Luma for ages, if I can be indulged. I currently edit with Luma on my phone, and I do have it downloaded onto my laptop as well, iPhone and laptop. But should I buy an iPad is my question, because I know most people who use Luma have a tablet or an iPad. So I just wondered, I know you were demonstrating off an iPad. I've never owned an iPad, and I wonder, I really want to get into, oh, sorry if you can hear that. I really want to get into a lot more editing. And yes, do you recommend I buy an iPad is my question. Should I ask for an iPad for Christmas? Is that the best way to use Luma?
For me personally, so I was editing on my smartphone for quite a few years before I got an iPad. When I went to an iPad, I was like, oh my goodness, this is luxury. It's luxury editing when you start on a phone, because you have a bigger screen, as you say, you can do. The downsides, obviously, it's an iPad, so you're kind of carrying around a tablet. Like when I've got my smartphone, it's easy because I've always got that. So yeah, I would recommend having one. From my own experience is very positive in having the iPad to edit, because you can, if you wanted to, edit on your iPad, and then let's say, for example, you were going on a long train journey, you can airdrop your entire project to your smartphone, and then you can just keep going on your smartphone and then share it back. So yeah, I would recommend asking Santa for one if you if you wanted to start doing some more editing, because it really does enable you to see your projects a bit bigger. But what you could do, guys, if you're watching now and you think, okay, I'm not going to get a tablet, what you could do is you can watch your project on your television while you're editing. If you wanted to, you can actually share your screen. You can see it on external monitors. Again, we have a lot of content like that on our YouTube. So if there are ways around it, so whatever technology you're working with, we want to really empower you to tell your story, to be as creative as possible. You know, we know Luma Fusion it's an app, you know, it's an editor. Yes, it's a piece of technology, but you know, the principles behind Luma Fusion is all about enabling you guys to really, you know, embrace this storytelling creative world and get stuck in. And I know I've seen so many of the projects that have been submitted, and I'm really excited to see the next few days of the conference, just to kind of see what amazing work you guys have done and to share ideas. So yeah, this is what Luma Fusion is all about. So please do get stuck in, head over to our YouTube, email me or the team directly, and we'll be more than happy to help you in your projects that you're working on now, and get you off the ground, or just to help you improve or put your idea into motion.
Thank you. And I can say that Luma Touch, everyone in the Luma team is amazing at getting back to you, because when I've been editing in the past, and I haven't used my like SF3 personal emails with Luma, I just use the email address on the website for customer service, and I had an answer like within an hour or something about an editing question that I had. Basically, it had gone up to the cloud. I didn't know how to get it back. They helped me straight away. It was really amazing. Yes, so Luma's incredible. I put the email address for Caroline in the chat that she mentioned. I put Luma's web address, I put the YouTube channel, and of course I put some ticketing links to SF3 because we go live, our screenings this weekend, live and online. But before we do finish, we will finish very soon, but does anyone have any other burning questions that they would like to ask tonight? And don't forget, you can go away and always email if you do have any questions. You can either raise your hand if you want. Is that a hand, Bevan, in the air? That is. So Bevan up there, you can unmute Bevan and ask your question.
Well, I love to learn it, editing. It's interesting when you do it. But you said you did the training course?
Yeah, so we do, we run a lot of either one-to-one training you can request. We also do in-house training for teams if you want, like you and your colleagues or friends to do that. Or we do monthly webinars or live training sessions online. So if you go to our YouTube, we've got a playlist for live training where you can watch the live training back. But our next training will be in a few weeks. So if you just ping me an email, and I'll make sure that you're on the next live training session. And they're all free and they're on Zoom. And you can ask questions, and it's, yeah, it's really interactive. So you're very welcome to join.
Yeah, yes, please, it helped me a lot. Because I love movies, like more into the action genres, like martial arts movies. Because there's a lot of editing behind that scene.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, I mean, if you've got, as you say, like, because you've got your passions there, if you've got some inspiration to, work towards or edit in that style, that's always a good starting point. So yeah, absolutely. As I say, like, I'll support you in your editing journey, as we do with everyone. So please do, contact us, and we can do some stuff, and we can help you out.
Cool. Thank you. I'll write your name on it in case.
Thank you.
Yeah, just pop my email down. Yeah, all of you guys who are watching, please do write my email down, and then you can contact me whenever you need. But yeah, as I say, like, just the best way to learn is to just do it, guys. Get stuck in, have a go. You can't break anything in the tool. We've literally got new updates coming out all the time, lots of feature requests. So whether you're just starting out with putting clips in the timeline, trimming, changing the order, or maybe you are using multicam, or we've even got a Final Cut Pro export. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So please do have a go, and yeah, we'll look forward to see what you guys create.
Cool. My friend of mine, Saver, she screenshot on the iPad and we got it.
I can send you the email address to Bevan. Bevan's one of our gala filmmakers, Caroline, who's made a doco in our finals. But Bevan, I can send you if you don't get it down tonight, I'll send it to you. Yes. I have a quick question as well. If anyone else has any burning questions to finish us off, ask right now, because Caroline in London is just starting her whole day, and some of us are getting ready to get in our jammies. But I wondered if there was a cost for the one-on-one trainings.
Yes, it's $35 per hour. So that's US dollars. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if what that works out in Australia, but it's it's
too much money.
Sorry. Yeah, too much. Yeah, I mean, if you guys email me for the training, for the one-to-ones, sorry, it's $50, and that's £35. I'm trying to work out the $50 US, £35. I don't know what that is in Australia, but and then for the group sessions, it's $500 for a 2-hour session, And for the monthly training, that's completely free. So it just depends on, you know, think about in terms of either your budget or like what you want to learn, guys. And as I say, we run the free training specifically so that, you know, if you don't have a training budget, then absolutely you can jump into the specific training we do. Like one time it might be keyframing, another time it might be multicam, another time it might be audio ducking. But then if you want the one-on-one training, then you can just book those sessions with me directly with the Luma Touch Academy. And yeah, go from there.
Perfect. Thank you. If there's no other burning questions, Bevan is a question man. He's not. And Michelle, you're challenging Bevan for the questions tonight. Bevan, you ask your question and then we'll finish with Michelle's.
I have to learn all different things like you guys taught.
So you'll have to go, Bevan, take down right now, go into the chat and get the youtube.com/c/Luma Touch. You'll see it there. And that's the YouTube channel for, and Caroline's got all her backlog of training sessions she's done already for Luma Touch. There's a lot. They're amazing. And you guys should follow them on Instagram too. You guys have some really great Instagram content and little video tips as well. I love those. But so copy that one down now, Bevan, because you can get started tonight. Michelle, your last question is, where do we find how to update Luma? You're on an iPad.
Yeah, if you go into your settings and you go to Luma Fusion, if there's an update, you'll be able to update it there. We are releasing a new update in the next few days, so you'll be able to see that. If you go onto our social, we'll basically announce when there's a new update and able to. But I mean, it will be in the App Store anyway. So if you go to Luma Fusion in the App Store or in your settings, when you see Luma Fusion within the apps on your device, if there's an update available, it will ask you to update there. But you can always just check on our socials. We post on Twitter, at Luma Touch, Instagram, and YouTube as well.
I've just put the Instagram link up in the chat for you guys as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Caroline, for that amazing class. I now know I want an iPad for Christmas. I've wanted one for years to edit. I edited it on my phone, and you know, I want to get into this. I want to get into multicam. It looks amazing. I'm like, what can I shoot in?
Honestly, it is. And if you guys, you know, want to practice multicam and you think you don't have anything yet to actually shoot, because I think it does seem, if you've never done a multicam shoot, it seems like I need to be a professional paid filmmaker to do a multicam, you know, like why would I film? In your kitchen tonight, set up 2 different iPhones and film yourself making a cup of tea or hot chocolate or whatever you're doing tonight. You know, film yourself from 2 different angles, press record, open up multicam and put them 2 in, and you will be amazed at how quick it is. And you know, you can just make something that's a boring sequence actually really exciting by switching angles, making audiences not know what's going to come next. Or you know, you can just put up some different cameras, go to the park with your dog, have your GoPro. You know, a lot of people have done point of view filming. For example, they might be like windsurfing. They've got someone else from the beach filming them. They've got a GoPro on the windsurf, for example, a video somewhere else. And you can create something that's like, oh, that you wouldn't have thought to do that because of the automatic sync. And before this, what you'd have to do is layer camera 1, then camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, find a point within all of those where something happened, like the slate, for example. Then you'd have to cut them all. Then you'd have to, it's mind numbing how long that takes compared to just pressing the button and pressing sync. So as I say, that is an in-app purchase, but it is a one-time purchase. So look out for that, and yeah, have fun with it, guys. And the possibilities are endless. I know you guys have the creativity, you know, that's what you need. That's the most important thing. That this tool will get you so far, but you just need to really think about your own storytelling and think, okay, we have the technology to enable you to do that now. Okay, so if you've got an idea, you've got a story, you've got something that you want to make look exciting, I want you to now open up Luma Fusion and think, how can I do this? And there will be a way. So thank you very much. And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ross. Thank you. That's great. Lovely to see you all. And yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the rest of the festival, Angela.
Yeah,
Exciting
thank
times.
you. And thanks to Luma Touch, our major sponsors of SF3 and Caroline. I wish I could talk to you all night about editing. So it was amazing. Make sure you guys go on the YouTube and the socials for Luma. And please, we'd love to see you at SF3. So our live gala is Saturday night, and the online gala kicks off from Saturday night as well. As all our live screenings happen, for anyone that can't be here in Sydney, our online screenings happen at the same time and kick off. And we have an extended program online, including 11 feature film finalists. We had 28 features entered this year, and we're screening 11 online, plus all our amazing shorts. So thank you so much for coming. Thanks for being part of SF3. Thank you, Caroline. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. See you later.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.